Hello, today I'm going to be talking about different types of tennis balls, pressurized, non-pressurized, the difference between different colors of tennis balls, and I'm also going to be discussing my two favorite tennis balls and what the main differences between them that I've noticed. And stick around for that at the end because it's going to be a little bit interesting. Because most people, at least that I know, use the US Open and Australian Open, which are my two favorite. And there is a difference between those two balls that I've noticed. So this is going to talk about all those different things, tennis balls, and this is not. I'm not going to take it from like what like books say about them, what technology has to say about them, because really you can know that and everything, but that's not going to determine how they actually play and what you think about it when you're playing. So this is all from what I've experienced. This is not from like reading a book that I'm saying. This is from experience. And that's gonna be like almost everything on this channel. So it's gonna be from a player's perspective, okay? So this is non-pressurized. That means like I can squeeze into the ball easily, uh, but these balls do bounce very well. Not as well as pressurized tennis balls, but it's not like it's just gonna bounce and then just completely drop. They do bounce a little bit, a good amount, for you to practice your movement and good enough for you to practice your strokes, but it is very different from pressurized, which we will get into. This is very affordable, so this is also, it's affordable compared to pressurized, but it's also aimed for a different category of people. It's aimed for younger children, and it's also aimed for people that are not looking to go into tournaments, not playing official matches, uh, like very relaxed, like maybe recreational, but like not even recreational, just for like fun with your friends. Okay, like let's say you and your friends just randomly want to go play tennis. These are type of balls that I suggest you're using because they're cheap, affordable, and they don't lose their bounce. So it's gonna stay consistent. Then we have the ones that come out of these type of cans, pressurized tennis balls. So here I have the Wilson US Open. I know it's backwards for you, but it's the Wilson US Open. And it's pressurized. I think all pressurized tennis balls are at 14 PSI, which is what I've heard. But basically, all that means to me at least is that it has a nice solid bounce when you break it out of the can. And the felt is usually very nice on these balls because you pay more for the ball, obviously, so they're going to try to make it better for you. It's more expensive than pressureless tennis balls, but this is if you're like in high school, college level, or even after that, and you're playing like professional, like USTA and things like that in the US at least. This is usually what you're gonna want to practice with because at all the games, professional games, tournaments, and everything, you're gonna be using pressurized tennis balls. And now, because you're wondering why they don't use pressureless, there's a big difference. And those ones are consistent for practice. They don't bounce as much. These ones bounce a lot, and they're made with better, like, I don't know, better materials. So it's gonna hold together better, and it's gonna be better for you to play with. I also prefer them a lot over the pressureless because I'm tall and they bounce more for me, and I feel like I'm able to like strike the ball hard and everything, and it just goes correctly. The pressureless, I just don't, I'm not a fan of them. If you're able to afford getting a pressurized, go for it. I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth it. It really is. Now, the different colors of tennis balls. So I'm not talking about how a ball goes from yellow to green over time. I think everybody should know that it's just dirt and everything going through the ball. Whatever you're playing on, it just happens. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about like when a ball is like in this area, like yellow, and the other direction is like red. What does that mean? That means it's usually aged for younger aged kids. There can be orange, red, and that's just like different like levels. Just like all yellow is like professional, like the highest level that you can get, and then with the colors, that just means that it's usually lighter, so you can hit it easier. But it's not really gonna help you once you get to this stage. It's aimed for younger kids. trying to learn how to hit their stroke correctly and not trying to like randomly hurt their arm, because these balls are harder to hit compared to those. These are heavier. And talking about heaviness, we're now gonna go on to talking about my two favorite types of tennis balls. Well, that fell down, but this is the US Open, like I said, and this is the Australian Open. The color is different just because I've been using this one, because I prefer this one. But they're both tennis balls, they're both pressurized. They're both used at like official tournaments, as I said, for pressurized. But there's a difference between these two balls. So let's say you use one of them and you're trying to, if you see one of your friends using a different one, what does that mean? Australian Open tennis balls, I find them to have like a more cushiony felt. So you'll notice the balls bouncing a lot higher compared to the Wilson Open balls. And I don't know if this is strictly like made this way for the court or for the tournament like this on purpose, but in the production, that's how it comes out. Or maybe it's because I have the extra duty US Open, so the felt is not meant to like be as puffy, it's meant to stick onto the ball and doesn't come off. But with regular duty, I've noticed that the Australian Open balls do bounce a lot higher, and I also feel that when you make contact with your racket, that it's a lot lighter compared to the Wilson US Open. So let's say you're playing on a hard court and you put a lot of topspin, or like not topspin, let's just say you're hitting flat, okay? Because not everybody knows how to hit a lot of topspin. Let's say you're hitting flat, the ball's gonna come in, and instead of bouncing as high as the Australian Open, okay, it's just gonna bounce a little bit less. That's what I've noticed with my experience using both these. They're both extremely good balls to my experience, and this ball is heavier. So if you are using this ball, I would try using a dampener. I do have a video on dampeners and what they can do, so do check that out. But these two very good balls, but there are differences between tennis balls, and that's just a common fact that I think everybody should know. So it's not just like let's say you're playing wonderful one day and you're using this ball, and then you move the next day using this and you find out that you're not doing as good. It's partially your fault, I guess, but there is a difference, and you may have to make adjustments depending on what type of tennis ball you are using. Pressurized, and then the color, if you are transitioning between different colors, which I would not suggest, but that is that. And thank you for sticking around till the end. I hope you learned a lot about different types of tennis balls and how you can put that in your game, find out what you need to be using. And yeah, thanks for sticking around. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with other people that may not know this. If they're interested or not, whatever, or just send it and share it with them. Because I'm sure you both will learn a lot together through like everything that you do in tennis. There's always a learning experience in sports, and I think tennis has one of the biggest things, which fascinates me. So thank you for sticking around. Please like, subscribe. Bye.